Can't see straight, big fur jacket from eBay, looking timeless. Hey, I gotta let my skin fade, man.
It's week 6 of the National Football League. And coming up, we'll see Derek Carr. You can't ask for much more than his last game, a 5-touchdown effort. It's the Saints and the Texans, and it's all up next on EA Sports.
From the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 51 back in 2017, we are inside NRG Stadium in Houston. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here, as it'll be the New Orleans Saints taking on the Houston Texans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Saints, they're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the tone setters for these guys, and the entire team feeds off of what they do.
And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. So here are the Texans now with a fresh face at quarterback, the second overall pick from Ohio State, C.J. Stroud.
In only 2 seasons, Stroud showed all he needed to at Ohio State. All-American, Heisman finalist, program records galore. He looked every bit like the #1 overall pick. He went #2, but Houston is thrilled to have him.
Come on. Hey.
A man coming off a great rookie year, it's Dameon Pierce. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Well, CD, you see some of the injuries that have popped up for this franchise, and obviously hoping to get these guys back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and these guys, they've been hearing the mantra next man up since their Friday night light games in high school. It's 3 simple words, but they're absolutely perfect to use, and everyone has adopted them. Next guy up, do your best.
Calling a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here, 3rd and a yard. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
Alert!
Pierce will try to pick it up. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
4th down, Corliss Waitman now on to punt. Deep for New Orleans is Rashid Shaheed. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. This is taken at the 23. It'll be a net of only 30 here. 40-yard punt, 10 on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by one of the most productive QBs in the last decade. It's year 10 for the Fresno Stater now. Here's Derek Carr.
And he's playing at a very high level here in this early part of the season. In fact, he leads the NFL in passing yards. Now, that's not always an indicator of success, but in his case, it is.
The pass caught by Olave. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 5 catches, 127 yards, and a score.
When you turn in good, consistent performances each and every week, you will rank in the top 10 in the league in receiving yards, and he's number 7 currently, hoping to move up as time goes on.
Carr to throw on 2nd down. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. Room here to run. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
He was not the primary target. They expected to get the ball downfield. Instead, checked it down. An old coach of mine used to say to us all the time, when they check it down, that should end the down. In this case, though, he foiled that in a big way and turned it into a big play.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Carr completes it. Oh, some strong running. Touchdown! A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Saints get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
The point after, good by Groupie. And that makes the score 7-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it all culminates in a Saints touchdown. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Hey, you look at this Saints defense. They were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
And while you can't actually see confidence rising in a unit, you can tell by this team, all right? Anytime you can tell your offense, hey, just get us a couple touchdowns. We got this thing locked down. That's when you know you're playing well and you're carrying your team along.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Stroud. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
But you just knew that these rushers were eager to do that today. Put him on the ground. Their plan, introduce themselves individually to this rookie quarterback. They said hello in a big way there with a loss of double-digit yards on that sack.
Here's Corliss Waitman now. Taking on the midfield logo. Spinning away. And now running right through it. A nice return that time. Gets 12 yards back. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Now a play fake. Carr. That'll be taken in by Shaheed. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. A very solid gain of 27.
And, partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. And he's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Juwan Johnson, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Saints are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Groupie able to add the PAT, and that'll make the score 14-0. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. And now out comes Houston. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one? All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Paulson and Debo. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. Now after the INT, it's Carr. Johnson's got it complete. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. 2nd down and a little more than a yard here. So, Charles, you look at this offense. So what a start to the season. 5 wins without a loss. When do you think that you start believing that maybe you're in the midst of something special?
Well, you and I both know every head coach never wants that thought to creep into a locker room. But the truth of the matter is, not quite at this time, because if we look at the Steelers in 2020, they're a great example. Remember, they started 11-0, then lost 5 of 6 and went out in the first round. But I think if you get toward mid-November, the Thanksgiving time frame, and you're still doing this, that's when things start to get real for a ball club.
The Saints with a football here to begin quarter number 2 as they go to work on a 1st and goal. Touchdown, Saints! Alvin Kamara from a yard out. And the Saints have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game and no signs of slowing down.
Groupie for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it's polished off through the air with a touchdown to Alvin Kamara. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Houston's offense taking over again. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Stroud off the play fake. And he's taken down here by the Saints. That's the former Buckeye Pete Werner getting the sack. Now we get to see the punter, Corliss Waitman. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. 44-yard punt, return of 9. And they will take over 1st and 10. So here are the Saints to take over. Remember, they're riding that 5-game winning streak, and right now in the driver's seat in this ball game as well. Carr now on 1st down. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. The hard-hitting safety, Jimmy Ward, picking up the sack that time. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He lets it go deep for Olave. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, New Orleans. 3rd touchdown pass now for Derek Carr. And the Saints are able to add on to their first half lead. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big strike like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Here's Groupie for the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Texans offense set to regain possession. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. They'll start on the ground with Pierce. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Back to throw. Here's Stroud. To Pierce, they set up the screen. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. Going for it with Pierce. And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
After watching that play result, it took me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and we asked him, so how you plan to move the ball against this defense?
He didn't really tip his hand, did he?
No, he didn't. I think it's because he really didn't have an answer. He wasn't quite sure how he was going to get it done, and that play showed us exactly why he was worried.
Yeah, this #1 defense, they can put that on their highlight reel. They have been able to stop the run all season long. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Chris Olave heads back to the field as his guys get set for another possession. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting up.
Got a man. It's caught at the 6-yard line. Touchdown. Making 4 touchdown passes now for Derek Carr. And the Saints have taken a 5-touchdown lead. So this now 34-0 with the extra point pending. And Charles, I thought these guys might have the advantage coming in, but I didn't expect this.
Well, I'm glad we're going with full transparency here because I didn't either. I thought we might be looking at a 24-20 type game, maybe 13-10 at the half. But this has been total, utter domination.
Groupie for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Houston set to take over. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Now here's Stroud, and this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
Well, after incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, it certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
And this will be a Texans first down as the tackle made here at the 36. Now a timeout called for by the offense as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting it once, you get first half scores just like this one.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Stroud to throw it. They'll let this go deep for Collins. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down. The Texans send the punter out as he's on for the 5th time here today. This will be fielded at the 17. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. And the Saints going to go on offense one final time in this first half. And with a huge lead already, they may be thinking, hey, our job's complete for these first 2 quarters. Let's get this to the locker room. Looking long for Thomas. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
But whatever they called on defense, they made sure they were ready for the pass on that snap, made the proper adjustments, and helped force an incompletion.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. He'll air it out deep for Thomas. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas in the final seconds of the first half. And the Saints will extend their lead here just before halftime.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. The point after, good by Groupie. And it is 42-0. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. It's a gain of 2, and it will be the final act of this first half of play. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Saints out on top. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll get started over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta. And it's the home side who have the lead as they play the second quarter. Sam Howell has thrown a touchdown pass. From there, we'll jet north to Ohio to check in on the Browns at home at Cleveland Browns Stadium. And they trail in that one as it's the visiting 49ers who are out in front. 2 touchdown passes there for Brock Purdy. Finally, let's get down to Miami to see what's going on with the Dolphins. As you can see, the score there in the second quarter. The rookie #1 overall pick, Bryce Young, with a touchdown pass there. We saw a strong first half from the veteran quarterback, Derek Carr. He's over 300 yards passing already as he's looking to possibly put his name in the record book. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Here comes Michael Thomas and the rest of the Saints offense. He's having a day here in quarter number 3. Over 100 yards, couple touchdowns. Every receiver's hope for when they head into that game in the National Football League.
And his team is loving what he's giving them. Of course, the yardage is terrific, but I think it's what you mentioned, the 2 touchdowns. That's the big one because he's paying off his results downfield.
And still more time here. Third quarter, we'll see what else he has in store for us. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Back to throw here. He lets it go deep for Olave. This is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown, New Orleans. Chris Olave, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Saints come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Here's Groupie for the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. On the ground, it's Pierce to begin the drive. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. We're just looking at the scoreboard and where we're at in the third quarter. I don't know that it's going to matter much at this point, CD, but these small runs on the ground, they're not going to get it done.
No, they're not. And right now, the guys stopping the run have been...
And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there. And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is. Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Stroud. Under pressure, they got him again. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. The Texans send the punter out as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. A 39-yard punt, a return of 5. The focus goes back to Chris Olave, the Saints offense. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
Carr now on first down. He lets it go deep for Olave. And incomplete on the deep ball.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. That was Will Anderson getting home and finishing the play.
What a play by Anderson, and that's really the expectation for him. Number 3 overall pick, one of the best pass rushers in Alabama history. He's the type of player Houston expects to be an all-timer for their defense.
On 3rd and long, it's Carr. He's going to rifle one deep left side. This is caught inside the 15. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Boy, this has just been an offensive clinic. It's seemingly been one big play after another, and add this one on to the list. When you can bite off more than half the field on one play, things are definitely working in your favor.
To throw, it's Carr. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Carr now to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Looking for Thomas. He's got him. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there. With his 3rd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Saints just continue to roll. Well, on the other sideline right now, it's just absolute dejection. But, Charles, let's focus on the positive. With the lead that they built here, they've done pretty much everything to perfection in this ball game.
They certainly have. Makes me think that their week of preparation was excellent. And they flowed into this game, and it carried over. And right now, I don't expect them to back off at all. They're playing so well, they just want to keep it going.
Groupie able to add the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt a return. And here comes the Texans now. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. And Stroud now to throw. He's got his man. It's the tight end, Brevin Jordan. And I don't think he got there. No. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches. The Texans send the punter out as he's on to kick it away. This is brought in at the 21. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I have to be prepared, right? Isn't this kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things? That's what we're staring at right now, the way this one is going.
Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Play action. Now it's Carr. And that is caught downfield by Thomas. And he's going to be forced out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. A big-time play there for New Orleans. 52 yards.
And even with the game seemingly in hand, they're continuing to fire away, pressing the ball down the field. Listen, it's worked all day. No reason to go away from it now.
They fake the handoff. Now Carr. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. Here's Carr. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete. Charles, they're still airing it out at this point despite that huge lead. And some people may be saying, well, why are they throwing the football? These guys, I guess, are just padding their stats at this point.
Yeah, there are a lot of big grins, I think, from people in their families, from themselves. You're exactly right. Pad the stats when you get an opportunity. It'll certainly help you come contract time.
So Carr departs, and on his Blake Groupie for the Saints field goal. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but They'll take the 3, and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here.
And just looking ahead, it would appear that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one, though probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish. Stroud's throw complete into the hands of Schultz here.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down. Throwing now is Stroud. And that one's going to come up a little short. It's incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Stroud on 3rd down now. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
It's a nifty return of 29 yards. You don't see that too often, Charles. He punted that away and then hustled up to make the stop as well.
Yeah, because oftentimes they serve as their own safety after punting it. You want to be the last guy, but he decided to get involved in the action, didn't he? And what a spark that's got to provide for the rest of his team when they see their punter out there making a nice hit.
Alvin Kamara. And he's got it all the way down to the 12-yard line. A big-time play there for New Orleans. 46 yards.
And this is one of the toughest parts about being a defensive back. When a play breaks down like this, you're taught to plaster to a receiver. Find the nearest one and adhere yourself to it. But you can only stay with the receiver so long if the play continues to develop. He knows where he's going. You do not.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. Well, let's face it, not a lot left for them to prove in this game, but they're still throwing the football. I guess, of course, CD, you could always get the backup some work. There's new plays to try out. But some people, let's face it, they just want to run the score up. It's fun.
I love the way that you expressed that because you gave plenty of reasons why people like to do things. But ultimately, they just like to keep their foot on the gas, and they just want to tromp on teams. And what I like to see is, if you like to do that, how do you handle it when it comes back against you? On those days where someone can run it up on you, do you handle it the way that you expect your opponent to? If so, keep doing your thing.
I thought maybe when he caught it, he'd have a good chance of getting that first down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
And his kick is good. Back now on EA Sports as the kick teams are out here following the 2-minute warning. So after the field goal, back out is Groupie to send this one away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25.
Ready, set. Come on, set.
1st and 10, it's Stroud.
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him.
Talk about two sides of the ball cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. That front seven, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long. In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And it looks like the offense did get the football back, but it is clearly in that end zone, and it's going to be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does them in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
That's pulled in at the 32. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. CD, I mean, they have just been scoring at will. It's been score after score after score, and a lot of times we use the term blowout for a lopsided ball game. This has kind of gone past that. I think we're in historic territory right now.
You nailed it. Historic territory. Perfect phrase for what we are.
This is caught inside the 15. And he's going to be out of bounds all the way down inside the 15. A big-time play there for New Orleans. 46 yards.
Even with the big lead here in the 4th, it still bombs away, and frankly, it's working. Why should they stop? Go ahead and keep firing away and gaining those yards.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And it's caught. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Groupie for the extra point.
Oh, I was just about to say he hadn't missed an extra point all season, but there it is. His first miss, no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
And the Texans set to come onto the field.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage, because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
A shotgun snap to Stroud.
He's going to let it fly. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. The Texans send the punter out as he's on here to punt it away. Fielded just inside the 30. That'll be a 43-yard punt, but a net of just 33 following a 10-yard return.
The New Orleans offense set to take over. Well, they don't need to score here, that's for sure. They could just kneel it. They've got the huge lead late 4th quarter, but well, we'll see how they're feeling, Charles.
Yeah, we all know people out there who like to use every second of the clock, no matter what the score. And we know they don't need the points. They've scored in abundance already. Let's find out how they want to finish this ball game.
Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, when they said before the game that they were going to try and execute every second of this contest, I guess that was taken literally, because here they are in the final moments of the 4th, putting another touchdown on the board, Charles, to add to this big lead.
I'm not a big believer in 110%, but it certainly applies here, doesn't it? Because some guys just can't go with less. As long as there's time left on the clock, they're pushing to get to the end zone one more time. They don't really care about what the optics show. They just want to finish the game off the way that they like to play it. Full speed, all out.
A point after, good by Groupie. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Let's go now.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Stroud looking to throw. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
Trap 60, trap 60. Ready.
Now Stroud. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. The Texans send the punter out as he'll come on to kick this one away. This is fielded at the 27. A very good kick there, but 15 yards on the return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit 000. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started as they try to finish things off in this fourth quarter, and that current 5-game win streak looking like it's going to go to 6. And it's incomplete. Still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over. So this one a victory here for New Orleans. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Saints, they remain as hot as anyone. 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Houston, the losses are piling up as they drop to 1-5 now. And now they'll head to the bye week as they'll be back in action in Week 8. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.